In this video, I'm going to rank all of the Oddworld games from worst to best in my own opinion. All of this is gonna be a bit hard for me to do this because honestly, I like them all. But yeah, but not all of them are just like perfect in their own staple way. So I gave my time a bit to just rank them from the worst to the best. And also I'm gonna include the Game Boy games as well, of course. They're also Oddworld games as well. So let's begin now. Number 8 is Oddworld Adventures 1. This is clearly the worst Oddworld game ever. It's terrible and it's broken. What is mostly terrible about this is the controls. It's just so bad. Like, especially when you wanna jump forward. For this, you literally need to hold B and forward at the same time. No, actually, you need to hold B, then hold forward, which is just so confusing. Like, the worst thing is the game itself never tells you then. And not to mention the graphic itself. I know this was made on a Game Boy console, but still, it just doesn't look like there has been done that much effort to make the graphic. And not to mention the story itself. It's supposed to be like a Game Boy version of Ape's Odyssey, but all it just ever threw was just like the part where he reaches Harmonia, and also that the story is about saving the Mudokons, and at just the end it says you saved all Mudokons, but all you did was just finding Big Face, and that's it. It's like Oddworld Adventures 1 is just a water drip of Ape's Odyssey, to a point that this game doesn't really make any sense at all. And yeah, when I mentioned that this game is also broken, there's plenty of glitches as well. So I would not really recommend playing this game at all. Usually when I was a kid, I always played like the first part of the game. I thought the game was okay, but when you just progress throughout the game, you just now realize how bad this game is. 7. Munch's Odyssey. Yeah, I know some people have different opinion about this. Some people say it's a great game as well. It was their childhood, and some other people think it's just terrible. Although I would say I'm like in the middle of this opinion. It's not a secret to say that I wish this game like a freak as a kid, because just how exciting the game looked to me. Just seeing all these videos, and then I finally got to play the PlayStation 3 version, which was great. But yeah, still, it is a very different game from the past Oddworld game. It just somehow feels a little bit childish. But yeah, I mean, what so many people think that the game feels repetitive. The levels are just way too short, and yeah, sometimes you just do the same thing over and over again. But at the same time, I still enjoy the game by myself. Yet I still understand why some people just don't think it's a great game. And not to mention that playing as much is not really fun at all. It's mostly fun to play as Ape, and not to mention his squeaky, bouncy noise in the HD version. Ugh. 6. Munch's Odyssey GBA. Yeah, I know it's gonna be weird when I say this, but honestly, I think the GBA version is much better than the console version. I know many people really don't like it, and I honestly don't understand it. I think the GBA version is much more unique than the console version. I think I enjoy it much more than the console version. The reason why is because I think each level has just been designed in their very own unique way, and also the same with the puzzles as well, and just how they implement, like how you just have to switch between Ape and Munch to just complete the puzzle. Like sometimes you always have to split them into each of their own path to open a certain door or something, which I really like. And the second thing is that each level feels so big, like almost as if you just go wild in this level. And sometimes there's even like a different room where you have to take an elevator to reach them as well. So yeah, again, I don't really understand why people just don't like it. I absolutely enjoyed the GBA port of Munch's Odyssey. 5. Stranger's Wrath. Although I would say that I want to put Stranger's Wrath on its own place. Yeah, since it not really has something to do with Abe himself or all the other familiar faces, but still though, Stranger's is a great game, I gotta say. But because it doesn't have anything to do with Abe at all of his familiar enemies and friends, it just doesn't feel like an Oddworld game at all, nor even feels like it was developed by Oddworld inhabitants at all. But not that it doesn't mean that it's a bad game. I actually like this game so a lot. Actually, I avoid this game for so many years, only because it didn't have anything to do with Abe at all. And I think a lot of people did it as well. But when I heard that it came to the Switch, I decided I should give this game a chance, and then I just felt ashamed by myself that why did I avoid this game for so many years? It's such a great game. Usually I don't really like shooting games at all, but I think I will give Stranger as an exception because it's a shooting game that is done in a very unique way. Instead of just using a gun with bullets, you're using a crossbow that shoots live ammo, and that is something very unique. That's what I really like. Just see something really new about genre. 4. Oddworld Adventures 2. Now this one is a huge improvement to Oddworld Adventures 1. They literally fixed every mistake that the first one had. The controls are so much better, the graphics are much more better, and literally the story is much better. Yeah, this is pretty much like a Game Boy version of Ape 62, and they just did it perfect. It tells you that what the story is about, and it just tries its best to just replicate the PlayStation 1 version. They just did it really perfect. Although I would say that the Game Boy version is a lot more shorter than the PlayStation version. I guess that makes sense, but still, it's a great game at all. Graphic-wise, the game looks very impressive for a Game Boy Color game. And yeah, throughout the game you'll also see some familiar levels from the original Ape 62, and you'll also see some brand new one as well, which is just a really great mix of something existing and something new as well. Not to mention that they even added GameSpeak as well, which is amazing as well, even for the sleeks and the clock-ins as well. Like, wow, man, dude, I love this game so much to a point that I actually own a physical copy of Oddworld Adventures 2, and I gotta say, this game is way funnier playing on a real Game Boy console. 3. Oddworld New and Tasty. Yeah, I know, many people say that New and Tasty is a terrible remake of Ape's Odyssey. But you know what? I absolutely like New and Tasty. I think it's such a great remake. It's literally a childhood dream that comes true, because I never ever thought that a remake of Ape's Odyssey is ever gonna happen. I remember back in 2012 when the first footage of New and Tasty was revealed, and I saw this. I thought this was fan made to the beginning, but then I saw like it's official, and I was like, no way, it's actually happening. So yeah, I was just really glad. And it also, New and Tasty put some stuff that I imagined, like how the original Ape Odyssey would be, like for example, like how the game would look like if the camera followed Abe instead of just being a laser layer. Not that I'm anything against it, but I just thought how would it look like, and that's what New and Tasty did. The New and Tasty did, the thing was just, it kept following Abe all the time, which just looked amazing. And I really loved how the remake is tried to just stay the same and having the same charm as the original Ape's Odyssey had as well. That way you can just have that nostalgia of when you just played the original Ape's Odyssey as a kid. The control is alright, and the graphic is impressive as well. The soundtrack is great as well, even though I can't really hear that much difference. Like, sometimes I'm thinking that they just use the same soundtrack from the original Ape's Odyssey, even though I noticed that they didn't. But okay, so they still did a great job with the soundtrack. And what can I say about New and Tasty? Everything is great about it, and I love it. 2. Ape's Odyssey. Well, yeah, that's a bit of a dilemma for me with how to put it on. Should I put Odyssey at the top, then New and Tasty, or should I do it the opposite, or should I put them both together? But then I thought that if I wanted to introduce someone to Oddworld, should I let them play Ape's Odyssey or New and Tasty first? But then I thought Ape's Odyssey, obviously, and then I can show them New and Tasty afterward. Not that there's anything wrong with New and Tasty at all. But of course, I should definitely give some love to Ape's Odyssey, because it was literally the first Oddworld game I ever played, and the one that introduced me to Oddworld to begin with. Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, it's the first Oddworld game, so how much can I say about it other than it's a masterpiece of the game. The graphics are amazing as well, and just the environment and yeah, that's just all I can say, because I still am so bad at it. It was so hard for me to that rank. No, let's just face it, Ape's Odyssey is great. Okay, boom, done. Let's continue. And now, for number 1 is Ape 6 Deuce and Oddworld Soulstorm. Yeah, because I think these two games are equally the best Oddworld games at all. I think many of you can agree to me that Ape 6 Deuce is the best Oddworld game ever. It's literally better than Odyssey. The whole game is just much more longer, with just so many new environments and new features and new enemies, and of course the story is amazing as well. It's no wonder why so many people love this game so much. And about Oddworld Soulstorm, this is supposed to be like the true version of Ape Duels, which I think I would say Soulstorm is a great game. And when I was just watching all these trailers of Soulstorm before the game released, I was so close to just say that this is my favorite Oddworld game of all time, like literally the best Oddworld game. Yes, like even better than Ape Odyssey and Exodus. But because that Oddworld Soulstorm is missing so many key features from the original Exodus, I decided that Exodus should just stay as the number one. But I can't deny saying that Soulstorm is a fantastic piece of work. It's a masterpiece. I absolutely love Oddworld Soulstorm. Just the environment is breathtaking. The 2.90 feature is amazing as well, and just all the models, the cutscenes, everything is perfect. I absolutely love it. You can really tell how much love they put on this game. So yeah, Soulstorm definitely just needs to do a bit of change. So that's why I would say that because Soulstorm is missing some features from Exodus, Ape Exodus is gonna stay as number one as well. But Oddworld Soulstorm is also gonna stay as number one as well, as these two are equally the best Oddworld games in my opinion, since they are both unique in their own way. So that was all of the Oddworld games I ranked. This was a little bit hard for me, but I managed to do it anyway. So thank you for watching this video. Next time I'm gonna rank my own games the same way as I did here right now. And also just a quick reminder, next week, June 12th, is my birthday. So yeah, that was pretty fitting for what I'm gonna do next time. So thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you next week. Bye bye.